I want to talk to you today about the killer of your dreams and possibilities. This is Jacqueline Foster here of Feeling Good TV. I want you to imagine that you have this brilliant idea, and the moment after you have this brilliant idea, you know exactly who you need to call. You know exactly who you need to get in touch with as your next step. Now, usually between that moment of the idea and the moment of the phone call, there's some time, right? How often during that time of having your idea to actually picking up the phone, have you had a thought like, I shouldn't even call because they're not going to pick up, or they've been doing this longer than I have, they're never gonna want to talk to me. Have you ever done this before? Assumptions. Really, what we're doing in this case is we are making an assumption. We are making a decision, or we're gathering information that is not based off of fact. It's based off of previous experiences, previous thoughts that have happened that we're taking into the present with us to make a decision. And this can be really, really harmful and really, really restricting for our possibilities. So what can we do to make a change? There are two things that are really big, and I'll share an example, something that happened for me in the past few months that I really, really became aware of, and it's around phone calls. I have been making a lot of phone calls recently, and I noticed that every time I would pick up the phone, I would say to myself, they're not going to pick up. I would make an assumption that they're not going to pick up, or that they're not going to want to talk to me. And this was something that happened quite often, that it got to the point where I really, as I was becoming aware, realized it happened a lot. And yes, the truth of the matter is, when I pick up the phone, someone might pick up or they won't. But that doesn't give any information in the present as to why I'm making the phone call and what can happen after making that phone call, whether I leave a message or not. So the reason I want to share this is because number one, just making the awareness of how often when I picked up the phone, I would tell myself that no one's going to pick up, that no one's going to call me back, that really all that did was, one, made the experience unpleasant and maybe kept me from making a few more phone calls than I would have made. The second thing, once you realize, especially if there's one area in particular where you really catch yourself making a lot of assumptions, once you catch yourself making that assumption, make the choice to explore your imagination and to see possible opportunities that could come from, for example, for me, making that phone call, the amazing conversation that you could have with that person, or imagining that instead of the person that you call, maybe their spouse picks up and you have an amazing conversation with them and find out about a resource you never would have known about. Exploring these pieces of imagination, what they do is they begin to open that gateway of literally like this jail that we put ourselves in of thoughts. So I highly encourage you to think about, when possibilities arise in your life, do you catch yourself staying in this place of assumption and making choices based off of past experience? Or do you allow yourself to stay in this place of wonder and adventure, to explore your imagination and all kinds of different possibilities that can happen in your present? So if this resonates with you, I highly encourage that you bring some awareness to your assumptions, and then from that, you begin to explore your imagination and encourage yourself to think about some different endings to the same situation that you are making assumptions about. outside of that, I would also love to know, what do you do to shift from assumption to imagination? Or what do you do, period, to explore your imagination and to open up to the possibilities? If you enjoyed this video, come over to JacquelineLaceyFoster.com and pop in your email below. And I create these video blogs every week, so I'll send them right to your inbox. And you can also find my videos on HerTubeTV.tv as well. Wishing you an amazing day and looking forward to sharing more next time. Thanks so much.